This is CBS 46 Sports Saturday, powered by Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Less than 1 day away from kickoff, you are looking inside NRG Stadium here in Houston, Texas. The finishing touches have been placed on the field. Both teams had a chance to walk through the stadium today, and the countdown is on to Super Bowl 51. But already, we have two major victories for the Falcons. Matt Ryan is officially the National Football League MVP, the first Atlanta Falcon to ever win the league's top award. Much more on that in a few moments. Plus, former kicker Morton Anderson has been elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Mort kicked the Falcons into the Super Bowl some 18 years ago in Minnesota. Hello and welcome to CBS 46 Sports Saturday. I'm Fred Khalil along with Chris Domino. We are live here. And Chris, we were talking, we know it's Super Bowl because it was you and me, 18 years ago down in Miami getting ready for the Super Bowl 33.
A couple of the circumstances are really different, but I think the biggest one is we might not have taken that one as seriously as we should have. I know the Atlanta Falcons have treated this one like the business trip that it is.
And let's talk about Matt Ryan winning the MVP tonight. I mean, the guy deserved it.
No doubt. Look, everybody said it was going to happen, but they started to say it in a trickle as opposed to just the big boom. It was a fait accompli. It happens tonight. Look, what we're all looking for now is the holy trinity of a great weekend. Yeah. Matt Ryan, Morton Anderson, and a Falcons victory. Then we'll make it a four-headed monster with having a parade in Atlanta.
All righty. Now, let's look at these numbers for Matt Ryan, okay? In postseason games, 730 yards, 7 touchdowns with no interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 132.6. That's incredible what he's been able to do.
Look, he's been the best player in January. Now we got to find out, can he be the best player in February? That's the last piece missing. We talked about it earlier. The last MVP of the regular season to win the Super Bowl was Kurt Warner. Matt Ryan's looking to join that list. It's not very long. He's looking to become a part of it.
And Morton Anderson, let's talk about Mort because he's elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame tonight. He's the guy that kicked the Falcons into the Super Bowl those 18 years ago.
It's so crazy. And by the way, not only deserved, but nobody's going to enjoy their election into the Hall of Fame, not only tonight, but forever, more than Morton Anderson. And we know him well enough to say that. Here's the other thing. Nobody's ever going to do what he did. He's the leading scorer for 2 different NFL franchises.
Right.
Let that roll around your head a little bit. I know he will enjoy this night and a Falcons victory and have this weekend as an all-timer for himself and his family.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about Matt Ryan. He's got something else to win tomorrow, and that is the Super Bowl. New England Patriots, they've been there before. They know the routine. The Falcons are new to this, and all week long they've been chomping at the bit to get going. So you've got the number one offense against the number one defense, so that doesn't typically work out well for the defense.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, here's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about what the Atlanta Falcons are able to do against the number one defense in the league. What I think they're going to be able to do, and I've said it all week, put up 4 touchdowns at a minimum, hopefully find one more on top of that, push this game to the mid-30s. That's why I think the Falcons win it.
Well, you know, the Falcons, as we said, they've been chomping at the bit to get here all along. Let's listen.
Man, it's a big time, man. We down in Houston, Texas, man. We got big plans. We got big plans.
When you put that jersey on, you look in the mirror, man. See that nice logo on there. What goes through your mind?
An opportunity, man. It's a rare one. It's one that doesn't happen very often.
It's our job as coaches to make sure we don't jam them up too much mentally. So, man, can they let it rip? We want to make sure they know their keys, but they can really run, can really hit, and that's when we're at our best.
Here comes Green Bay. Ryan throws end zone. Jones caught it all the way through. Touchdown, Atlanta.
But right now, we just taking off right now. We're doing anything we want. We're just trying to play mistake-free football and be detailed as possible and take care of the football.
As a defensive coordinator, you really got to, pick your poison. See what you want to try to take away. I mean, if it's the run game or it's the pass game.
Well, we won a lot of different ways under a lot of different circumstances, and it's mental toughness, man. That's what it's all about. So, and this team's got it.
You know, Tom's been in this position before. He's a great quarterback.
We just have to do what we have to do. We know our process. We know the type of ball we're supposed to play. I feel like we can play with anybody.
This is a big moment, and the one thing you don't have to worry about is your emotions burning on Sunday, because that's going to come. So the big thing is to stay focused throughout the week, kind of keep yourself, to normal as much as possible.
And we are back live now in Houston. Chris Domino alongside here. Let's talk about Dan Quinn. This is his 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years, man. I mean, he's on quite a roll.
Yeah, look, he learned from Pete Carroll a few things that you'd like what a guy to learn. It's the reason he got this job. He had 2 Super Bowl appearances. He became the hottest commodity on the free agent coaching market because of that. What he brings with him is not only a style, not only an intensity that he wanted to actually bring 3,000 miles east, but what he also brings is this idea. I don't believe in the experience factor. I don't. But I do know that if you have a guy who can flash a ring and say, if we handle our business and do it this way, you can have one of your own. Not that he's flashed it, but those guys know he has one. That's what I think is more important than how many times guys in this team have actually played in this game.
Well, I think it gives him credibility, too, when he comes in the room, right? I mean, no doubt about that.
Look, and Kyle Shanahan's looking to do the same thing. If he's heading out to San Francisco, I talked to some players who say, that guy at his age walking in with a ring, he's got something that you want. You're going to listen up a little bit more that first time he addresses the football team.
All righty. Well, we heard from the Falcons earlier. Now, for more on what the opponents have to say this week, let's go back to Emily Gagnon in the studio. Emily, what do the Pats have to say?
Hey, Fred, so here's the deal. The Patriots are used to this time of the year, so per the usual, there was no Saturday walkthrough for the team. Believe it or not, guys. Instead, it was family and friends photo day in what's become tradition for New England. Of course, Tom Brady's wife, Gisele Bündchen, was on hand supporting her man. For Brady, this was his 7th Super Bowl team picture. Earlier today, I mentioned how the Falcons' defense has been working overtime to shut down the Pats' offense, but it's going to be just as challenging for the Patriots' defense. Forget about the highest-rated QB in the league. I'm not talking about Matt Ryan, the NFL's MVP. I'm talking about Julio Jones, and so is Bill Belichick.
Like I've said many times, I think Julio Jones is a tremendous player. He does everything well, plus he brings an element of toughness to that position that I'd say is extremely high. So, he's big, he's strong, he's fast, he catches the ball well, he runs well after the catch, he blocks. And had a lot of conversations with Coach Saban about Julio, and nothing but positive things about the player. And from what I observed, the way he plays and the way he competes, this guy's one of the top players in the league.
So Jones is the only player in NFL history to enter the Super Bowl averaging 100.6 yards per game. That's his average for the season. The only other player to go over the 100-yard mark is Hall of Famer Michael Irvin. I think it's time to go back. Fred Khalil.
All right. Well, Emily, what do you think? You haven't been here that long in town, but you got the Falcons in the Super Bowl already. Pretty cool, huh?
Pretty cool, Fred.
All righty. Now, there's lots more ahead here on the Falcons pregame edition of Sports Saturday. We're going to have a closer look at the quarterbacks. Now, statistically, it's one of the best quarterback matchups in Super Bowl history, and it's extra special for both guys. But as we go to break, let's hear Bulldog legend Herschel Walker and his take on the Super Bowl.
I'm happy to see him there. I think it's a good thing that the Falcons are there because, they got a new stadium that's going up.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, to go and win the Super Bowl right now would be absolutely incredible for them to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be the dance of the emotion of the moment, whatever dance that is, because if I had to prescribe what a dance would look like, it wouldn't look good. I think the dances of emotion and joy are the best, just being spontaneous.
Owner Arthur Blank on his dancing, and he's done some dancing, huh?
One more to go.
And he hasn't been shy about it.
Oh, no. Can you imagine what's going to happen tomorrow night if this thing gets done?
Oh, my goodness. Arthur is going to be DJ RDB, man. He's going to be cutting the rug.
He might wear out a pair of shoes in one night tomorrow night.
Well, the key to tomorrow may very well hinge on the quarterback matchup. You've got Tom Brady and Matt Ryan, two guys that know each other very well. And when you listen to both guys talk, you know that each one of them has a lot of respect for the other.
Yeah, I think every quarterback who has played in this league or they've all tried to emulate things that Tom does. He's been so consistent. To me, the biggest thing and the thing that's most impressive is his consistency throughout the years. He's been, he's just played so well for so long.
Matt's had an MVP season, so he doesn't need any advice. He's led his team to this point, and he's an incredible player, and he has been for that franchise. And I have a lot of respect for Matt. Our defense has its work cut out for him.
Those are two guys that really, I think they talk the talk, but I think they walk the walk, too. They do have mutual respect for one another.
Not only that, Matt Ryan got the best individual piece of hardware the NFL has to offer today, this side of the Walter Payton Award. I think now he needs the other one, the ring that he gets to wear whenever he chooses to for the rest of his life.
Well, you know, Matt Ryan has a lot of fans in Boston. He also had a lot of friends in Philadelphia. For more on that, here's Ayanna Crystal.
Matt Ryan's MVP level play is taking the Falcons to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1999. This is exactly what the Falcons envisioned when Atlanta made Ryan the 3rd overall pick in the 2008 draft. But his road to get to the Super Bowl has not been an easy one. Even his own parents never thought they would see this day.
Matt always had aspirations that this would happen to him. His father and I, not so much.
Back in the day, Matt Ryan had big dreams that even his high school football coach didn't believe would be a reality.
Never in my wildest dreams, so I won't speak for everybody, but not my wildest dreams did I ever think he would be playing in the NFL.
Even as a teenager, Matt's work ethic set him apart from other athletes.
He's a very humble young man, even when he was here at Penn Charter. What I would say about Matt that I learned real early was his aptitude and intellect for the game.
Penn Charter School held a pep rally for their favorite quarterback, who is now playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday. Ryan has reached the pinnacle in his career, a point that every football player dreams of.
And I sat with him after the NFC Championship game, and this is it. There's no bigger game than you know what he's about to play in on Sunday.
For Matt's parents, the reality has set in that their son is playing in the Super Bowl, and the nerves are kicking in.
Lots of butterflies. There's a lot of pressure. You know, there's a lot of stress associated with it, particularly his position.
Sunday will be hard. Win or lose, it's a hard day. It's a hard day when you watch your kids reach probably their ultimate goal.
Matt's dad told us that 58 friends and family members will be cheering him on from the stands, and win or lose, they are so proud of him. With CBS 46 Sports, I'm Ayanna Crystal.
Thank you, Ayanna. We've got much more ahead here. When we come back, we're going to show you our one-on-one interview with former Falcons quarterback Michael Vick from earlier in the week. I got him to open up on his controversial exit, his letter to Atlanta, and his relationship with Arthur Blank and Matt Ryan. Stick around for that. Welcome back live. Super Bowl 51 preview show along with Chris Domino. I'm Fred Khalil. We are live in Houston, Texas, getting ready for the big game between the Falcons and Patriots tomorrow. Chris, you know, I ran into a guy that we know quite well earlier this week, former Falcons quarterback Michael Vick. And I tell you what, I had a chance to go one-on-one with Michael, and we talked about a number of things. Here's our interview with Mike. Just talk a little bit about the ovation that you got in the Dome when you were in the Georgia Dome.
Man, it was great. I tell you, I didn't expect it. So, you know, it's always great when you expect certain things to go a certain way, and you can almost predetermine what's going to happen. But in that case, I had no clue, no idea how this reception was going to be. But you know, those fans are great.
Mike, Arthur always has spoken very highly of you, and even after that he did. Please talk about your relationship.
I love Arthur as well, and you know, he's certainly a guy that I can pick up the phone and call anytime. And you know, I'm just thankful to have that relationship out there. So many things that, you know, happened in the past, and you know, not everybody's like that. And I think it's partially because he knew the type of person and the man that I was deep down. You know, not just the football player, it was about me, you know, as an individual, and you know, vice versa. And as I grew older, I just kind of put it all into perspective, you know, what having good relationships and great friendships mean. And I just try to value that.
Well, Matt Ryan even said that, you know, you've been a big supporter of his. If you could just talk about, you know, what you guys do, your relationship.
I've always rooted for Matt because I feel like Matt was the guy who can come in and indirectly, and I know this may sound bizarre, but make all the problems go away that, you know, I created at some point, you know, for the organization. And, you know, to see this team playing in the Super Bowl, they all deserve it. You know, Arthur, after 15 years, he deserves it. You know, Matt, 9 years. It's just good people who were well put together, and I think who fought for this moment. So, man, it's gratitude on all ends.
Hey, one lesson, you got any lesson that come out of that?
You know, for the most part, it's taught me to, you know, trust in the people who you know, say they have their best interests at heart. And, you know, don't always, you know, have your guard up. Don't always make it so hard to let people in and trust you and to gain their trust. You know, just open up. And, you know, that's what I've learned over the years, man. And just, you know, people, they value you and they respect you more than you would ever know. When I see the Atlanta Falcons tag on TV, when I see Atlanta Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints or the Atlanta Falcons versus the Carolina Panthers, it's like I identify myself with the Atlanta Falcons. The people are treating me great. The city is still great. I love going back, you know, and, you know, that's just my loyalty, my gratitude. Can't say enough about it, man. Just I identify with Atlanta, man. That's why I'm here. No predictions. I made some predictions, but man, as long as we win by 1 point, that's all that matters.
As long as we win by 1 point, that's all that matters. That's what Michael Vick said. Let's talk a little bit about Mike, though. We both know him pretty well, and remember when he came into the Falcons, he joined the Falcons. I mean, what about that ovation that he got when they brought him back out?
Well, look, I thought everything was a step leading up to what I think is going to be the next step. I think Michael Vick is going to retire as an Atlanta Falcon. I think there's going to be a ceremony. I think Arthur Blank is going to gladly do it, which is pretty incredible when you consider the circumstances a number of years ago. I also think it could go beyond that, whether he works directly for the NFL or whether he works for the Atlanta Falcons, which is a possibility. If it was a test case to find out what the fans in that building thought of Michael Vick, he passed with flying colors, and it'll make those steps a lot easier.
But, you know, and he's a guy that's been through some bad times, so you're looking for a guy in player relations that can tell you, look, don't do that because look at me.
I'll go so far as to say he's the poster boy for that.
Right.
And it's a shame it had to happen to one of Atlanta's own. But I actually think Mike is a better man on the other side of it. And I also think he is as good an example, hopefully will continue to be, for anybody who's playing any sport, but certainly in the NFL.
Well, we're going to come back with more live from Houston after this. But first, what's been the biggest change from last year's Falcons team to this year? We asked Dan Quinn that question earlier this week.
When you have a chance to be really good in the locker room, off the field first, that connection to say, like, man, I will play for something bigger than myself, that's when some cool stuff can happen. Our team wasn't that way last year. We were more of a neighborhood.
I always said I wanted to play in one before I just jumped in there and started watching. Unfortunately, I retired before that happened, but now I get to see my team and some of the guys I played with, and definitely the organization I work for, a lot of my friends and close friends get a chance to win a title. It's pretty special.
Brian Finneran, former wide receiver and one of your co-hosts there on 680 The Fan, out here at the NFL Experience all week. Now, what about the sports of the day? Let's go back to Emily and check in with more on that. Emily.
Hey, Fred, the Bulldogs, they suffered a heartbreaker at number 6 Kentucky earlier this week. It was decided in overtime with the Wildcats winning 90-81. Today, the Dogs had another shot at a top 25 team at number 19, South Carolina. In the first, UGA down by 1 with less than 1 to go until the break. Jawan Parker nails the tough jumper. The Dogs up by 1, 36-35. It was 38-all at the half, thanks to a couple of J.J. Frazier free throws. He finished with 18 points. So would Yonte Matton. The Dogs walk away from another absolute heartbreaker. Get this, 77-75. Georgia Tech on the road at Wake Forest this afternoon. The Yellow Jackets 5-5 in conference play. ACC Rookie of the Week Josh Okogie delivers on the dunk to go up by 1, 21-20 Georgia Tech. Okogie's received that honor 4 times this season. In the second, the Yellow Jackets down 79-66. Okogie again with a quick lay-in and one. He has 23 on the day, but the Demon Deacons take this one 81-69. The Yellow Jackets drop their second straight and fall below 500 in ACC play. Georgia State, they are hot right now. The Panthers have reeled off 7 straight wins. Today they took down the Ragin' Cajuns 85-82 to sweep the regular season series. They've committed 18 turnovers in back-to-back games. That's something Coach Ron Hunter says his guys have to clean up.
The last thing I just told the guys before I left, last year we won 16 games. We lost 5 games inside of 4 points, lost every single one of them. This year we've won every single one. You know, so the difference of just finishing, you know, you're finding ways to win. You know, I said you got 8 games now. You're 8 games away from winning another championship, 3 in the last 4 years.
The Hawks back at home after an impressive come-from-behind victory in Houston. Tim Hardaway Jr. had 33 points in that one tonight. Look at the ball movement. He hits a 3 to make it 76-50. Hardaway finishes with 21 points on the night. Impressive play by him later in the third. Watch this pass from Dennis Schroeder to Paul Millsap in between the legs. Millsap makes the layup. He had 21 as well. We're going to take another look at that play. The Hawks, they stay hot with a final of 113-86. They're currently 4th in the Eastern Conference Finals, or standings, I apologize. And of course, guys, we will be right back with a lot more.
The streets are lit up like it's...
Fred, back out to you.
Okay, Emily, thank you very much. Okay, Emily, thank you very much. And let's talk a little bit more about this game and this matchup that we have tomorrow. Chris, I think Falcons start quick. What do you think?
Yeah, look, that's been their MO. 8 games in a row where they scored on the opening drive. What I also like about this team is that any place, any time on the field. You know, they can score from 10, they can score from 40, they can score from 6, which had been a problem.
All righty, when we come back, one of the best parts of the week, in my opinion, Media Day. I'm telling you, it's a blast. And I'll show you my favorite moments from this year's Media Day. Celebrities, costumes, great questions, you name it. That's all when we come back.
Well, you know, I believe firmly that at this point, they're the better team. So it's not that they have to, they're still in position where offensively they can dictate. I think, and defensively, to a degree, they can also dictate, because I think they have the ability to stop a guy like Blunt, to stop you know, I believe they can stop that running game. And that's going to be the key to them having great success.
Oh, I love it here. It's the best night.
I mean, look around, man. This place is packed. You love the football americano?
Me gusta mucho.
But a good-looking couple, and I think that's what really makes it.
Do you know who we are?
I do not know who you are.
We played Schnick, Schnack, Schnuck, and I lost.
They ever ask you any advice?
They haven't. I think they've got it under control. They've made it this far.
This is not a distraction. It's a great thing.
Pretty eye-opening experience.
What do you think of all this, man? How do you like it?
It's very overwhelming.
Man, it's been awesome.
Let's go! Hey, man, you're in the Super Bowl. Tell us, how excited are you?
It's great. It's great to be here.
Oh, you slap them on the butt when they do something.
I knew that question was going to come.
DQ! GP!
I love the Falcons. It's actually my team this year.
Super Bowl 51 tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow night after the game.